Let me see, the clock has come on. There we go. Hello, everybody. This is Dylan Lang, just doing a test here. Last week when I was doing my show, Dylan Knows, which I'll do one tonight because everything seems to be working okay, I noticed something that YouTube said they would be switching all of their stuff to live control room. So I was like, okay, let me just check this out and see what it does and see if I can still do my show, or do I have to do changes like I did about 2 months ago when we switched from the Hangouts to webcam. So I checked everything out and saw webcam is still an option. Hopefully will be an option for the rest of YouTube's existence, hopefully, because it's the easiest way for me to do stuff. So I figured, let me test it out here and let me do what I did the last time 2 months ago when we had to switch over. I'm going to do a comic call. Now, I used to do a comic call every week, but then it just sort of got away from me. And with this week, which you'll learn more about on Dylan Knows tonight, probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock-ish, had some car issues again, and so the money that we had to put aside for that is coming out of our savings, so I might have to start tightening our belts a little bit. So the reason why I'm not doing comic calls much anymore is because the comics are really expensive. However, because it is Halloween and I want to do this test, I got a few books here because it was a 5th week, which means there wasn't a lot of stuff out there, a lot of expensive stuff, because they always dump their annuals and stuff like that at the end. So this is one of the first times where I got no independent books, because I was going to try to get the Hellboy Halloween book, but by the time I got comics on Halloween itself, when I had money, it was sold out. So all I have now is DC and Marvel. So let's just do this real quick and tune in tomorrow, or not tomorrow, tonight, 9:30, 10 o'clock-ish for a brand new Dylan Knows. So first up, we have from DC, we have Tales from the Dark Multiverse, The Death of Superman. The Dark Multiverse is a ongoing group of one-shots. It's all around this whole stuff that DC's doing right now that Scott Snyder did with Metal and all this stuff. So this is just a look at the Dark Multiverse where bad stuff is happening. So every one of these stories so far has been rough, and this one is no different. Superman dies and Supergirl becomes, or rather I think or just Lois become it's either Lois or Supergirl becomes, I think it's Lois. Lois becomes the Eradicator. So she does. It's written by Jeff Loveness with art by Brad Walker, Drew Hennessy, and Norm Ratmud. Art looks pretty nice for the most part. Don't really see any sexy Lois Lane in here, which is a shame because Lois Lane is a sexy beast. But some interesting stuff where she becomes Superman and fries the Joker and all kinds of crazy stuff. So there's that. The previous one was, I think, Batman Nightfall, where he broke his back, and the Azrael that took over or someone killed Azrael. I think it took over and became like a really evil Batman. Because it is Halloween, because I love ghosts and I love DC supernatural stuff. The 100, again, these are all books that came out this week. The 100-page giant Ghosts came out this week for Halloween, obviously, featuring a whole bunch of stories. Spectre, Gentleman Ghost, John Constantine, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman and Deadman, Catan and Black Lightning, Green Lantern, and Zatanna. And they're all done by different groups. The Spectre is done by Dan Jurgens, Scott Eaton, and Wayne Foucher. There's that one. Kind of gives an old school Spectre there. Keith Giffen, Priscilla Pentreates does the Gentleman Ghost one. Gentleman Ghost is one of those interesting little ghosts you don't hear that much about. John Constantine is written by John Layman with art by Andy Clark. Pretty nice there. Next up we have, I think this is Batman. Yep, Batman and Gore Hound. Written by Jerry Dauberman with art by Riccardo Federici. So kind of nice there. After that, we have, there's a little sexy Lois Lane, kind of, up there at the corner right there. This is Superman Mags Visaggio writer, and Minkyu Jung is the artist. So a little bit of sexy Lois Lane there. Next up, we have the Wonder Woman and Deadman, written by Vinton Hewick with art by Dean Zachary. which I haven't heard of really a lot of these people, but I guess that's one of the things you do. These are like sample things to try to get them into becoming regulars. Catan and Black Lightning is written by Brian Hill with art by Dexter Soy. They're the ones that do the Outsiders book. So that's the story with that one. This one is Blackest Day, Keith Giffen plot, Brian Keane script, Scott Collins art. So that's the Green Lantern one. So it's part of the, I guess, the Blackest Night storyline. And then finally we end with Satana Haunted Hayride, written by James Tynion IV with art by Mark Buckingham, which is always beautiful also. So Satana is fantastic. And so that's that. So that's Ghosts. Next up, we have Batman Annual number 4, written by Tom King, who this is the last annual he's going to be doing since he's leaving Batman to write Batman Catwoman. It's written by Tom King with art by Jorge Fornes, Mike Norton, and it's just like a day in the life of Batman, you know, doing all kinds of stuff. So you have that, and you've got him taking on dragons and stuff, and UFC fighting, and just a whole kind of crazy day in the life sort of scenario. Batman storyline going on here, romance, bizarre stuff like that. Giving a chance for Batman to, you know, show off his day-to-day stuff. Tom King doing the artwork. Next, we have Wonder Woman Annual number 3, written by the new writer of Wonder Woman, Steve Orlando. And it's an Event Leviathan tie-in, which has been a fantastic series. If you haven't been reading it, it's written by Steve Orlando, with art by V. Ken Marion, and inks by Sandu Florio. So pretty good stuff, but somehow is connected to Event Leviathan. I guess you have to read it to find out in what ways it is. We get the final issue of Deceased by Tom Taylor and Trevor Hairsine, which was the alternate world one where the zombie apocalypse sort of takes over DC and kills everybody. It's similar to Marvel Zombies. This is their version of DC Zombies. So obviously, you know, things are not, you know, things as always, you know, Marvel and DC both do the same things over and over again. So all kinds of craziness there. And that's it for DC. Well, no, actually, there's one more DC. The Black Label books that DC's been doing have been in these giant formats. And this is the newest issue of Harleen. It's 2 of a 3-part series. Steven Sedgwick did the artwork and wrote it. He's the guy who does the fantastic Sunstone, which is about BDSM, but with a romantic angle to it. But it's absolutely gorgeous. This one is Harley Quinn and the Joker. And the first issue was phenomenal. And this is the second one. But the Black Label ones are these sort of size books. You'll see that with the Superman Year 1 that came out recently, and then a bunch of the Joker ones in line with the Joker movie. There's been a bunch of Jeff Lemire did one that came out this week, which I didn't get because I really wasn't interested in it. There's been a few other ones as well, and it seems to be the new thing now. There's also next year there's going to be like a Harley Quinn one written by Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner, with art by Amanda Conner, which I think I'm going to buy because I love Amanda's artwork, and the two of them writing Harley Quinn again is fantastic. So it's all good on that. Finally, with Marvel, continue the revamping of the X-Men universe. This is Excalibur number 1. Excalibur was always one of my favorite DC books. This one's written by Teenie Howard and art by Marcus Toe, I believe. Yes. And I've always liked Excalibur, but what they're doing is they're doing their version of Excalibur within the framework of Hickman's new X-Men universe. So it's a different team. As you can see, Apocalypse is in there, and Gambit and Rogue, and looks like Jubilee, and don't know quite who the new Captain Britain is. Looks like maybe Richter's in there as well. So we'll take a look at that. So we'll check that out. So I've always liked Excalibur, so we'll figure out what's going on. And finally, by Tom Taylor, also we have Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man with art by Ken Lashley. Hasn't been one of my favorite Spider-Man series, but I'm still buying it because I'm a Spider-Man guy. So can't really complain too much about it. As I said, there's always more books that come out this week than what I'm showing you. This week, though, being a 5th week, there really isn't a lot of stuff out this week. So just bear that in mind when you go to the comic book store. So I just want to get this test underway. it appears that webcam will be a part of the new live studio thing, which is fantastic. So even when they do switch over from the classic stuff, I'll be able to keep doing my webcam stuff now for my show, which is better for me than downloading streaming stuff and setting it all up and doing everything like that. I don't need all that jazz. So that's it for this week's Dylan Knows Comic Call. As I said, periodically might do it every once in a while, but as I said, I'm probably not going to be doing it too much down the line since I'll probably be cutting a lot of my comics out. Just a reminder, next week, go to your comic store next week. The Legion, new reboot of Legion written by Brian Michael Bendis with art by Ryan Sook is coming out. Looks phenomenal. I'm excited for that. And plus, Tom King continuing his Batman storyline, as well as also two of the books that I know off the top of my head that are coming out this upcoming week. So enjoy your November and take care of yourself. Go to your comic book store and buy comics and take care of yourself. And bye-bye.